You're listening to Internationally Unfiltered, the podcast where nothing is off limits and everything is unfiltered. Hi, everyone.
Hi, what's up?
Hi.
Hey.
Hola, hola.
Hey.
Episode 2, baby.
Episode 2.
How are you, ladies?
How we're doing. Today's just a very weird day. I feel like
I agree.
everyone is just off the flips, so I feel like today is just not today. So we're just gonna try to
Distract you guys.
Yeah, and hopefully whenever you hear this, it's a better day than today.
Wait, but first of all, I got some news to share.
Yes.
Ooh.
Kay has some really amazing news, so hit us with the news, baby girl.
I haven't shared this with anybody yet, not even my real life friends, or the only person I've shared this with is with my mom. But I got a letter today in the mail, obviously, and it was from my uni, and it was basically certifying that I'm officially graduated and I need to go pick up my diploma, my cap and gown, and we're just gonna have a virtual graduation for now until like everything settles down and we can have it like physically. So that was very exciting.
Woo!
So
amazing! Hey! Clap, ladies, clap.
Hey.
Yes, queen.
I'm clapping my feet because I'm holding the microphone.
Like
So proud.
everybody who knows me from like a while back, or since I joined Stan Twitter, like knows the blood, sweat, and tears that I poured into like this whole journey. And the people that know me in real life know especially what I really went to get to this point. So like it's really satisfying to get here.
That just proves to you and to anyone that with hard work comes success. It doesn't matter how long it takes. With hard work, you'll always get success.
Exactly. And never give up.
Never give up.
Ever give up. Like if it looks really hard and you're looking like going through such a really tough time and you're thinking, oh no, this is not going to happen. Believe me when I tell you, you are the only limit to yourself. You can make this happen, but you have to believe in yourself, because if you don't believe in yourself, then who's going to do it?
Dude, you should be a motivational speaker. That was so motivating. That was so motivating. Like I feel like I'm ready to run a damn marathon.
Also, something I try to remind myself is if it was easy, then everyone would do it. So if it's hard and uncomfortable, it's supposed to be. Because remember, not everyone can do what you're doing.
Exactly. I have this Eminem quote on my wall up above my desk, and it says that God gave you the shoes that fit you, so put them on and wear them. And that's so true.
Love that. I love
Oh,
that. I
send
feel
me
like
that.
oftentimes people need to remember that we're all going on our own, personalized pace. Like everyone thinks you have to finish something by a certain age or do something by a certain time, and it's like you're on your own pace. Doesn't matter how long. Like my aunt, she's like in her 40s, and she's now going back to school, and she felt so intimidated. I'm like, no, you're on your own pace. The fact that you're even going to school again, that says more than enough. So it's like, if you're doing it, you're doing it.
That's amazing.
My mom used to say that you're never late and you're never early. You're always on time, and it doesn't matter what age you're doing stuff.
I'm sorry. That reminded me of the Princess Diaries.
Dude,
she was like,
yes.
a princess is never late.
Oh,
Everyone else is
queen.
simply early. Yes. Oh, it's a queen. A queen is never late. Same thing, girl. She royalty. She got
When
that.
you messed up the quote.
I'm sorry. Okay, wait,
Ladies.
I'll do it again. A queen is never late because Kay's on my ass. Everyone else is simply early. Happy
Before we get too taken away, what's the topic of today's episode?
self-love. Love
Self-love.
yourself. Love yourself, damn it.
This was something I think that a few people tweeted at us to talk about. And obviously, it's just like a really hot topic in general.
I feel like it's a really important topic now, since we're all going through a pandemic, and it's like
Mhm.
we're all trapped at home. And I feel like for me, in the beginning of the pandemic, like here in New York when it was like really bad, I just felt disgusted with myself, because sometimes you feel it's real shit. Like sometimes you feel unmotivated to go shower or to brush your hair. I mean, brush your teeth yet, because nobody likes damn breath. But like, I felt so unmotivated. I just felt like at that point, like, ugh, disgusted.
I agree.
So self-love is really important. You have to love yourself.
is.
How the hell are you gonna love someone else if you can't love yourself? RuPaul. I'm quoting people today, yo. I'm quoting people.
And I know that we're, you know, in our 20s, and there's a lot of listeners who might not be, you know, as old as us or older than us, but we're kind of going to talk about where we currently are in our stages of life. So, Vilma and Beka are both 24. Keishla and myself are 27. So just wanted to throw that out there if you guys are new to the podcast.
Also, we want you to feel that, well, to know that anything that we talk about here, we want to include everyone of all ages, because, you know, it's not just like a 20 and up thing. Like, I've seen teenagers deal with the same things that I'm dealing with. And, you know, even not even just for girls, but for the guys too. Because I feel like sometimes guys, like, people don't really include guys. And I feel like, you know, on this podcast, we want it to be equal for everyone, you know.
Right.
Like, we speaking for you, and we're trying to help everyone out.
It's so funny how today I was listening to a podcast, and they said something very interesting that actually goes with our podcast. And they said that you're trained to love because you heard in your life that I love you if you behave in this and that way. And that's so true. Like, so for example, when you are younger and then your mom says, okay, I will love you if you, I don't know, put your shoes on or whatever, even if it's
my mom would just be like, listen, I will let you live if you put your shoes on and listen to me. my mom was not with the shits.
And then, because I love people because I know how to love, and I'm giving people love because I love things. And you can love yourself just as much as you love others. Like, why not?
Yeah. Also, it's like we have so much. I feel like me and Beka as Leos, we have way too much love, and we'd rather give it than receive it. But it's like, at the same time as we're giving so much love, we're forgetting that we need to also give ourselves that kind of love.
That's so
I can spend all day, you know, showering and spoiling someone, but then oftentimes I forget that, yo, I matter too. Like, I have to give myself that same love. I have to reciprocate that same energy. So it's like, you know, if
it is so true.
Go ahead. But
no, it's just it's weird that, like, when you said it, it's so true, and I didn't realize it for the longest time. And
I even now I still don't realize it. Like, I even with my friends or family, like, I'm over here like, here, take this, but I'm not thinking like, yo, I should probably, you know, reserve some of that special love for me too, because, you know, I came a long way. But this is
I got to the point,
guys. What is a couple things or one thing that you wish you can tell yourself when you were younger? Or like, if you can go back and tell your younger self something, what would it be? Like, what would you tell your younger self? Doesn't matter like what time period, like whatever time period that was most significant to you, what would you tell that, you know, the younger version of yourself?
So
That's
much.
a really great question. Wow, where to start?
So who wants to go first?
Well, Madison, you're already speaking, so go ahead.
Yeah, I wanted to be polite. So when I see this question, I think of this one time period of my life in college was probably the hardest.
Oh man.
Probably the first year of college was the hardest year for me. Probably ever in my whole life. I was dating someone that was really bad for me. I was, you know, I thought he was the one. I was so wrapped up in things that I shouldn't have been. And I put too much dependency on him that when he broke up with me, or actually he cheated on me, but whatever. When we broke it off, I could not function by myself. So I would tell myself to not put everything into one basket. If you're dating someone, it's so dangerous to do that, because you get so used to being with someone and talking to somebody every single day, and when they're gone, you kind of just don't know how to function.
I hate that. Even now, I feel like that. Well, I feel like sometimes it's so easy just not to depend on someone for your happiness, but it's like, there's someone I can talk to. Like, you just pour your entire all without even thinking about it, and not even thinking, oh my god, like this might go bad.
Right. I mean, it was at the point.
Same situation, but it was my last year of uni, and I was dating this guy. I know we're gonna talk about breakups and stuff, but I was dating this guy for quite a long time, and I didn't realize that all I did was forget how to love myself and how to be myself just to please him. And he actually did stuff to me that now I'm looking back like, who was I? Why did I am such a strong character. Why did I leave someone and let someone do that to me? That's
we get blinded by love, dude. Like the second that we get a little taste of love or something sweet, we're like, oh, like we go full throttle. And it's like, we're human. It happens. Unfortunately, like it doesn't turn out the way we expect them to sometimes, but it happens. And like, as much as, you know, you say like, oh, I'm such a strong person, you can't beat yourself up so hard over it, because that's how you learn. That's how you know, progress onto the next situation, you know, whoever comes into your life next, you know? What about you, Kay?
Well, for me, it's not really college based. I go a little bit more back towards elementary, that transition from elementary to high school.
Ooh.
Yeah, those are like key years. Something that I wish I could have told my younger self was like, you know what? Here's the reality of things. There's no standard for beauty. Like, where is it written, the description of what beauty is? So be your own self. Never try to measure up to what others say that you have to be like, or who you have to look like, or you know, there's no specific weight, there's no specific body type, there's no specific hair color, eye color. You know what I'm saying? Try to love yourself based off of that. There is no beauty standards. You make your own rules. You make your own beauty standards. And I think I am a personal believer that beauty really does come from within. If you're a beautiful person and you show kindness and you show love, you receive that, and people gravitate towards that, and people actually see that beautiful part in you. So that's so something funny. I would have told myself
when you said about this that beauty standards, because I have such a different body shape compared to my whole family. So everyone is sort of skinny, and I have curves. I have an hourglass figure, and no one in my family has it. So I always got these jokes going around in my family like, oh, your mom never looked like this, or when your mom was in your age, she was half of you, and stuff like that. I'm not fat or anything, but I have curves. And it was so hard to accept myself that I'm not fat. I just have a different body shape.
You're gorgeous, Beka.
Yeah. Also, like, something that I learned older now, which I would have loved to know when I was younger, is that you have to be yourself. And also, at least here in Puerto Rico, or like maybe Vilma will relate to this, in Latino families and Latino community, there's a tendency of criticizing no matter what your weight. If you're overweight, you get criticized. If you're underweight, you get criticized. It's like, make up your mind then.
I'm going to try to say it in English rather than Spanish, but especially with moms or parents or whoever in your family, or they'll be like, oh, you have to eat more. No, you have to eat less. No, you have to eat more. You have to eat less. And it's like, can I just eat in peace, or can I not eat in peace? Because, like, you know, like it's just, they still have that old traditional mindset, and they always think like you have to look good for the man or your husband or whoever. Yeah. And it's like, nah, like I have to look good for myself.
We have that here, so it's so bad. Or so, yeah, it's just, so I'm with the eating stuff. So I'm quite a picky eater. I like to eat my food a certain way, doesn't matter. And every time I had food with my family, so there was the usual eat less, eat more. And why you eat this way? I've been eating this way since I eat fucking food.
I felt that in my soul.
No, it's
me too.
Bad.
It's ridiculous. I feel like what I would tell my younger self, like now, especially like during my early teens to like maybe a year before I became a mom, around those years, I would just tell myself, yo, take a second to chill. Like, just breathe for a minute, because you're right now, like, you think that the whole world is swallowing you down and you can't breathe, but if you don't chill, it's about to get worse. I feel like that, just chill and just breathe. I could have, like, at the time, you know, when you're making bad mistakes, like, you hear advice and you're like, okay, yeah, whatever, like you don't care. But it's like, now that you think about it when you're older, you know, for me, I always think about it like, yo, if I didn't like do these things and, you know, actually go get help and do all these things, like, I don't want to like, you know, worry anybody because everything's good now, we're good, we're gravy, but I don't think I would have been here by now. And that's the scary part. And which is why, like, I always tell everyone, like, yo, just chill for a minute, like, just chill, just breathe, and just think about what you're gonna do next, because it's bad now, but it can get worse or it can get better.
Speaking of advice,
what's up?
What is the best piece of advice that you have received, and how did it help you?
Oh man,
I
live by this quote. I live by this quote like every day, and it's my late brother. He always told me to take a chance and to take a risk. That's it. Like, this dude would I could be dealing with anything, like it could be work or home, relationship, anything, and he'll just be like, yo, take a risk and take a chance. You figure it out along the way. And even now, like, when I'm going through something, I'm like, yo, take a risk, take a chance. Like, I don't know how to really explain it, but it's one of those quotes that just, like, when I think about it or when I hear it, I feel like I instantly have an answer. And I love that.
I mean, life is too short to not take a risk and not do what you've been
thinking.
You see? Exactly. I think about that all the time. Everyone goes through different things, and life is so fragile. There's things that happen that just make you realize, like, holy shit, life is so fragile. This could be your last day. Like, and what would you want to do if it was your last day? You need to do that. And that type of stuff just, like, gets me all the time.
That's so true. And mine kind of, like, goes with this. So I got this advice once that stop settling for less just because you were scared to be lonely. And this definitely came to the point. So I used to be, and I still have this fear that I'm going to be alone, I'm going to be single forever. And then
my love, you are a damn
someone
catch.
just told me that
Stop
okay,
it.
you should stop settling for less just because you're lonely. And that's so true, because I went on some hideous dates. Now looking back, oh sweet Jesus, I shouldn't have.
You know, the crazy part is, it's like, I always tell myself, like, don't settle for less, and you need to be with, well, actually, no, you need to get what you deserve, right? But my thing is, like, failure is a bitch. So it's like, in my head, I'm like, you know what? Maybe being alone ain't that bad.
I know.
But I can't. I can't have that kind of
What about you, Keishla?
I mean, it goes a little bit tied up with what you just said, Beka, but there's something that my dad used to tell me, and I live by it, and it's probably the words that I have engraved in my mind that he said the most, is just to, you know what, just take one day at a time.
I love that.
Because if you take everything in, you're going to overwhelm yourself, and that's where you're going to frustrate yourself to the point that you get stuck, and that's not it. So just one day at a time, and take a deep breath.
I love that. Because it's true. Like, sometimes you have too much things piled on, and you just gotta, you know, take a deep breath.
Take back and sit down and think through what's gonna happen and what you're gonna do.
Yeah. What about you, Madison?
So I was just trying to think about this while you guys are all going, and it definitely is along the lines of what Vilma said. And this is actually a lyric from a song by Why Don't We? To all my listeners that like Why Don't We? This is for you. So the lyric says, "This could be your last dance, so you better leave it on the floor."
Wow, I love that.
Wow. I got the chills. Stop it.
I got chills too. I love that.
I am going to listen to this song. Goodbye.
Also, that's a really good tattoo idea.
I know. I've actually thought about that a lot. But yeah, whenever I heard that lyric, it like immediately hit me and made me feel some type of way. So I really do try to take advantages of experiences if I'm able to, you know, go on a trip, do something with my friends. I try to always say yes if I can actually do it, because you never know, you know, what the next day could bring. So, and I also thought to myself, this in 2018, one of my really good friends lost his dad. And it actually made our group a lot closer when something tragic like that happened. But we kind of all looked at each other and we all promised each other that we're going to start just, spending our money on experiences and not just materialistic things. So if I can ever take a vacation or go to, whatever it is, music festival, a trip across the country, I'm going to do it if I have the means to do it.
That reminds me a lot of what my, shout out to my older brother, Ryan. He always says, you always get the money back, but you won't ever get your time back. So money means nothing when it comes to, having a great time, because you're going to get the money back, but not the time.
It's like, what am I saving all this money for if I'm not going to go do anything with it? You know
Be
what I'm saying?
responsible on spending, but,
Yeah.
Also, you're not taking your money to the grave with you. Better spend it on memories.
But also be very smart with your money, ladies and gentlemen listening. Don't go spending it all and go into debt.
Yeah. Being in debt is not cute.
Be very smart, but if you have the means and the ability to do a trip or something and you're like on the edge of it, just fucking do it. Just full send.
Yeah.
I love that. I love it. So, how would you okay, how do I say this one? Like, how would you love yourself in the way that you love others? Like,
this one hits me.
Give me like 3 main ones of how you love yourself the way you love others. But this one has to be the one where like it is most genuine. Like, this is authentic, this is raw, this is real. Not like
I'm gonna start this
pretty, but like on the real. Nothing is off limits, ladies.
Yeah. So so about a year ago, I really hit rock bottom to the point where I was really mentally not in a good headspace. And I discovered positivity and mindfulness. And that's something I live by now. And self-love is so important. So what I do now is that I make sure that I take self-care Sundays. That's how I call them. So I take Sundays off. I try to stay as little as possible on my phone, and I just basically pamper myself, whatever I feel like doing. If I just want to watch a movie all day, I will do that, or just have a hot bath, or just go on walks. I feel like keeping your mind happy and your soul will make you happy.
Amen.
Ooh, James.
Yes. Hey.
I think I need to work on this more than I think I do. I think I'm really good at giving advice to other people when they need help with something. I'm a really good listener, but when it comes to treating myself the same way, that's where I have a hard time doing so. I think a lot of people probably have that same struggle. Yeah. I could speak all day. I could hype someone up all damn day and tell them they're the, gorgeous, beautiful, and genuinely mean it. And then when it comes to myself, I'm so hard on myself. Yeah. So that's something I'm working on. I think I'm getting better with it. I know Beka mentioned this last episode, but I mean, all of you guys that I've met on Twitter are nothing but the most supportive fucking people in the whole world, that you guys have literally helped mold my self-confidence in ways that you have no idea. So that's something I'm taking day by day, but yeah, I think a lot of people probably feel the same when it comes to that.
What about you, B?
Well, for me, what I like to do is I like to just, okay, this is gonna sound weird, but give it a minute. Normally, what I would do is I would just like look at myself in the mirror and like really look, but this is like no makeup, hair, in a bun pulled back, and I would just tell myself like, you are deserving, you are loved, you're important, you're enough, you're special. Like, tell myself the words that oftentimes I wish I could hear from others. But it's like, I also need to give myself that same love, the same way I can, how Madison said, I can hype someone up all day, no problem. But I need to make sure I give myself that same attention too. And sometimes, we're being unfiltered here. You take care of yourself in ways that you make yourself feel better. And whether, it's, watching a movie or, working on yourself or, some people.
How are you going to love someone? How are you going to love someone when you don't know how to love yourself? Like, how are you going to
I dealt with
give your
that for
best?
a really long time because I'm thinking, you know what, eventually I'll pick up on that. And the truth is, if you're that kind of person where you're thinking like, oh, like I don't love myself enough, or I don't love myself as much as I love my partner, but I'll get there. The reality is, you're not gonna get there.
You're never gonna
You're
get
not
there.
gonna get there.
And also before, I'm sorry, Keishla,
You're good.
I know I'm cutting off, but but the thing is that you are looking for someone, a partner, who is constantly going to tell you, oh, you're beautiful, oh, I love you, all this, all that. No, you have to have that in yourself, because at the end of the day, you will just want someone who is going to hype you up and love you. No, you have to love yourself, because
you know what's crazy though, because
you're just gonna get disappointed.
this is something that's also tied in with like I guess insecurities, and we'll cover that later. But people could tell me like, oh my god, like you're so pretty, you're perfect, and I hate that word, by the way.
Oh my god, I hate it.
I hate that word. And it's like people could say it all day, and I don't believe a single fucking thing. Like, I appreciate it and thank you so much, because it does make me feel very good inside, but it up to this day, it's still very hard for me to believe it, or to like really say, you know, like, yeah, you're right, like you know what, I am pretty. But sometimes I'm like,
also, like when someone says, oh, you're beautiful, what do you say? Merry Christmas. Like,
I just be like, oh, thank you, like you are too. Like anything, any compliment you give to me, I'm gonna bounce it back on you 1,000 times more.
Oh yeah, for
Same.
sure.
So I think that's one of the ways that like it helps me feel better inside, knowing that, you know, when you return a compliment, you're like, oh my god, like if I could make that person feel like that all the time, like it makes me feel good in a way. Like I feel happy inside. You know what I mean?
One thing I try to think about when it comes to, you know, liking the way you look physically is thinking about the way that nobody else looks like you. Like, you are perfectly unique. And that I think that in its own is something that is so beautiful. Like, we are all so freaking different and all made just so uniquely. That in itself is what is so beautiful. And that's what I try to tell myself.
Yeah.
Like, maybe I don't look like an Instagram model, but you know what? Instagram models don't even look like Instagram models. You know what I'm saying?
That is true.
It's like, I'm me, and that's fucking awesome. So if you're struggling with that, I encourage you to try to think that way as well.
It took a long time for me to like really accept my body. And even then, I'm like, when I see like all these Instagram models, I'm like, you know what? Like, these are girls that probably paid thousands to look like that. I look like this for free, and I'm pretty proud of it. Like, hey, you know what? Like, not too shabby.
What about you, Keishla? We literally talk over you.
No, it's okay. Like, I guess you guys pretty much summed it up. Like, I'm the kind of person who is this person who focuses a lot on making others feel better, that sometimes I just lose track and lose a little bit of focus on myself. But I also, whenever I want to give myself a little bit of self-love, I try to focus to find what is a safe space for me. For example, I like to work out, but I cannot work out without music. So those two things combined create this safe space for me where I just forget about everything. No negativity. There's no judgment. There's no one criticizing me. It's just me and music, and that is it. And also another thing that I keep in mind constantly, and I want to share with you because maybe it does help, is that, you know what, forget about body image, because at the end of the day, when we're old, we're all gonna be wrinkled. That's not even gonna matter. You know, love yourself the way you are. Because if you focus on other things besides that, then what's the point? You know, did you really live?
Yeah, and also, like, if you have an ugly personality or a beautiful personality, that's what matters, not your outside. You can be beautiful on the outside and ugly in the inside, and that's not gonna make you attractive.
I feel like that's how I look at things when it comes to dating. Like, I don't really care. Like, obviously, you know, it looks great if you look good in person, but like, I'd rather like be with someone for how they are as a person rather than their looks.
Absolutely.
And I hate when someone goes, oh, well, he doesn't seem like the kind of person you date. I'm like, yeah, you know why? Because he's not a dick. He looks pretty decent, but he's not a dick. He has his personality is 10 out of 10, and that's what matters. Like, you know what I mean? Like, a lot of people always says like, oh, you know, like, someone has to match how you look, and I'm like, not really. Like, I'd rather you could look like a potato, but if your personality is A1 sauce, oh, I'm good with you. I'm good.
Here's the question: if you guys could describe yourself in 3 words, what would they be?
Oh, I got this.
Do you want like the real or like just
real, baby, unfiltered? Let's go.
Okay.
It's really hard though. I mean,
Okay, I
like 5 seconds.
Oh God, I don't know.
Or maybe just 1 or 2 if 3 is too.
I think I would definitely say that I have a strong personality. I'm intelligent, that's for sure. And the 3rd one, I don't know. I'm honest.
Period.
I'm very honest.
I'm sorry.
That's a period.
That's not period.
Yikes.
But no, honestly, Beka, like, if I could add one more for you and for Madison and Kay at the same time, y'all are fierce as fuck. Like, you guys are so. I don't even mean this in like I mean this as like y'all are fierce as shit. Like, y'all make, you know, the hairs on my arms like stand up. Like, damn, these are some, you know, grab by the balls ass women. Like, you guys know what you want, and you guys are so like headstrong. I'm like, you know what? Like,
I'm sorry, but we have to add you to the equation on that because you are very fierce.
I want to.
I'm sorry.
When I grow up, I want to be
the fiercest.
Just like
You might be the fiercest of us all. But thank you. That's so kind.
Of course.
Nice.
I feel like if I could describe myself in 3 words, I would say strong, very silly, but very loving. And if I had to add a 4th one, you know,
fierce.
Fierce, yeah, I guess. But, you know, at the same time, it's like, I'm tough.
You're also very brave.
I would say loyal.
Oh, yeah.
Let me just get my tissues because you bitches is making
like,
me cry.
If there's a problem, I'm calling V.
Oh, definitely. Hey, there's a guy to punch in the face.
guys, if you're listening, like, if anyone's ever coming at you or starting with you, just come to me. I'll handle it. Don't worry. I'm good to bark on somebody. Y'all should know this by now.
What about you, Keishla, Maddie?
You want to go first, Maddie?
I think I have like 2, but yeah. I think we've all said strong, which I would definitely agree with. I was also going to say I think I'm pretty level-headed. I feel like I have a good understanding of all sides of a problem.
Yes, you do.
So that's something that makes me pretty good at listening to people's issues, and that's something I also enjoy doing. I can be silly when I want to be silly.
Girl,
you're hilarious. You are hilarious.
I love it, honestly.
I'm also like, I don't know. I have a really hard time describing myself, I guess.
That's coming from self-love.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. I'm also pretty shy too.
The good thing is that
like,
we don't have to have these answers now because I feel like we're still trying to find those answers.
We're also learning.
Like, hey, what are good, like, the top 3 things about yourself?
The older I get, the more clear it becomes, to be quite honest.
Exactly.
And
Also-
go ahead.
Okay, in one of my psychology classes, one of my professors, and that's something that stuck to me, and that's why I'm bringing it to topic. One of my professors was like, I want you to think of 5 negative things about yourself. And immediately we got that really quick. And then she was like, I want you to name 3 nice things about yourself. We got stuck at 2.
Why is it so hard?
So it's that's the point that she wanted to come across with. It's really, people tend to focus on negative, and there's so much positive, but we're so blindsided by the negative that we don't see the positive in ourselves, and we have to rely on others sometimes to see that, and that is so sad sometimes, because that is something that we have to constantly like keep up with.
Like, you mentioned, like, you know, write 5 things that are bad about yourself, and I already came up with 10 in my head just real quick without even thinking. That's insane. But when I had to think about like the good things about myself, I'm like, fuck, I'm a little bit stuck. And it's not that I'm not a good person or anything. It's just like we dwell so much on the negativity because we're still working on ourselves. Oh my God. That one definitely hit a nerve. Oh shit.
Yeah. This was like my second class of the master's degree, and it was like, whoa, mind blown. So yeah. Three things that I would describe myself with. Jesus. I think I'm definitely a loyal person.
You are.
Yes,
definitely.
I also think I'm very honest.
Very honest. You don't hold nothing back, and I love that.
And I think the last one is, something that my family constantly reminds me of. I am a very empathic person.
Oh, same. I definitely agree with that. You're very caring.
Yeah.
Definitely very caring.
Truly.
Which is a really good quality to have. Did I say quality? Like koala bear?
Koala bear.
I need to go back and listen.
You did.
Wow. I love that question.
A quality.
It was such a good question.